Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back again this weekend. I'm going to have a couple guests in, as always, Cory with me, and we'll introduce the other guest here in just a minute here. All right, so just wanted to go over again, as we always do at the beginning of the show, the Redcon One Weekend deal. All right, so let me get my share screen pulled up for you guys. All right, so this weekend over at Redcon One is the deal is 30% off. If you spend $50, you're going to get a free Vice City Neon OG hoodie. If you spend $75, you're going to get the free shaker cup that's on here. And then if you spend $85 or more, you're going to get both of those along with a free 2-pound tub of your choice of one of the protein powders in Green Beret, Isotope, and MRE Light. I've explained these before, but Green Beret is the vegan protein, Isotope is the whey protein isolate, and MRE Light is the whole food protein powder. So your weekend code this weekend is Vice30. The shaker cup that they came out with is one they've never released before. It's got the storage container down the bottom for your protein powder, your pre-workout. And if you flip it over on the other side, it's got a spot for your multivitamins, any other type of pills that you're taking. Scroll down here, new product this weekend. There's just a new flavor of Total War. So many new flavors of Total War coming out right now. And this one is a lemon lime blast. All right, so we'll get this out of here. We'll bring in the big guy.
What's going
Mr.
on?
Cory. Oh, you're sharing it.
Yep.
That's what you're doing. Hey, buddy. How's it going this week?
How's it going? I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. Just got out of work and you just got done training, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to introduce our new guest this week?
Hold on a second. Yeah, absolutely. We have, I don't know why there's playing an echo. Hold on a second.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. This week we have Northern Michigan's own, the best strongman out of the Bear Lake Gym, Big Kev.
What's up, buddy?
Guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. We've been talking about this for a little while now. We've been chatting back and forth, and we're happy to have you on here. So we want to bring in somebody new every week, and you were the person I wanted to bring in this week. So happy to have you.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I saw you had Matt Little last time, so this is clearly a step up. I'm proud.
Yes, for sure. We wanted to bring in Matt last week and kind of introduce the Liftness, which we'll get into here in a little bit, since a lot of the equipment that we'll be using is made by him,
Yep.
But it's going to be at Cory's gym. So definitely wanted to get him involved to introduce everybody to Liftness. So awesome to have you. And just wanted to talk real quick about any new news this week that you guys heard about Strongman. So the biggest thing I heard is at the beginning of the week, and Cory brought something else up earlier as well that we'll talk about, is Kielskowski's out with his tricep injury.
Yeah.
He's not fully ready yet from his tricep surgery repair. So
Well, he just posted a video today that he broke down. He was explaining what happened, and he even posted the video where he got injured doing the log. He was working, I think it's a 400-pound log press, which ain't too bad for him. But right in the middle of it, he was pushing, and you could see his arm just like fold, and he dropped the whole log, and then he showed it's all bruised, and you could tell it ruptured, and he has to have surgery and rehab now.
Oh, no kidding. Yep, I didn't catch that much because it's been a crazy busy week for me. And so that's crazy that it ruptured again, right? Or it was just slightly torn before.
Yeah, he was going through rehab, and he was working on it. He said he just started pressing again in August is when he started doing all his pressing and overhead, and he was working fine through it. But then when he worked up to that log, it ended up just fully blowing it out instead of just having a small tear.
Okay. And then
Rob Kirk.
Yep.
His was his tricep as well, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't even think they'll be able to compete at the Arnold now because I think he said it's like a 6-month just to get back to where he was, normal.
Yeah, that's what Rob was saying. It was 6 to 8 months. So I'm assuming he's going to be out for Worlds and Arnold easily. Yep. So that's a long recovery.
from the COVID list. He tested positive for COVID. I saw it on Facebook today, so he has to drop out. He has a name I can't. So
Constantine Janisha.
Janasia, yep.
Janasia, yeah.
Yep. So he tested positive, so he's going to be out now. And he just competed within the last couple weeks, didn't he?
Yeah, one of the European, some other, like Baltic championships or something, I think it was.
Right. So it was spreading around Georgia. That's the country he's from, right? So
yep.
That's
Still
crazy.
waiting on the votes from them too.
Okay, so new news. We're going to talk about politics now, right?
Yep.
So I don't care who you're voting for. I just want this thing to be over with.
Yes.
So, I mean, we pretty much know who everybody in our areas was voting for, but the bigger city areas, we know who they were voting for. I mean, that's how much it usually goes anyways, but
yeah,
this is just getting too drawn out.
Well, election day was Tuesday, and today's Friday, and they're saying they might not know till Monday, which they've been saying
they're not gonna,
Tuesday.
I bet they're not going to count over the weekend.
Oh, why would you? It's a government thing. I wouldn't count over the weekend either.
So, yeah, we're still waiting for 3 states, right? Or 4 states now?
Yeah, something like that. Then they just said that something about a recount in Bay County because they found like 10,000 something, or I don't even know. But I don't know. I'm not getting in. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I like I said, I just want it to be over with. I don't care who wins. I mean, nothing's going to change in 4 years that hasn't changed in the last 4 years. So, I mean, can get overpowered by anyone. I mean, we're not going to get into everything.
As long as we don't cancel any more comps, as long as we don't cancel no comps next year, we're good.
Can we just cancel COVID?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it looks like we're still waiting on 4 states: Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And 2 of those states flipped color today. So let's just get it over with.
Yeah. Just focus on things and you'll be all right. The world will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other new news we want to talk about? We didn't really talk about what we wanted to add in here, just kind of some of the Strongman stuff that we were talking about earlier. So what's up, Fred? We got Fred in here.
Oh, is he sweet? Yeah, pretty much the only, like I said, everyone else is just holding out until World's Strongest Man, which is next week. So everyone's just kind of been radio silent until then because they don't want to, let too many secrets or whatnot go away, except for Shaw shaving his beard. Did you see that?
I have not been on social media at all.
He went back. He said that he's won the last 4 titles with the goatee. So now he shaved it right back down to the goatee. Dude, he looks 25 years younger.
Not the nice full goatee. Like
nope, just the bottom.
Just the bottom. Yeah, yep. No upper lip.
Yeah, he looks just like he did in 2011.
Aerodynamics.
Exactly.
All right. So lift miss. We wanted to talk about a couple different things here.
Ooh, you dates, huh?
What's that?
Look at your banner.
Lift miss update. Oh, geez.
You dates.
All right.
This is German, like a U-boat.
All right.
I didn't point it out. Someone else did on chat. Okay. Yeah, see right there.
No, there's no new chat.
Oh, okay. I must have pointed it out.
All right. So lift miss updates. All right. So we came up with a couple different things. So we'll go over again real quick what the events are going to be. So we're going to have a max frame deadlift, and we're going to warm up. We're going to start at 400 pounds, 50-pound jumps. If it comes down to the point where people are starting to bail out and we don't need to do 50-pound jumps at all, we could do 20, 10, whatever. I'm comfortable with. There's not going to be a crap ton of us there. It won't take all day to get this done, and we're going to have a good time afterwards. So I'm okay with that taking as long as it needs to, as long as everybody's comfortable and hits a top number they want to hit.
Should see some big numbers on that frame.
I'm hoping. I mean, I got to get mine set back up again, but I'm hoping to have some big numbers set up with that. So so no changes with that. Next was yoke or not the medley, the press medley. So back and forth on the log and the axle, 200 pounds each. We'll do you got a 12-inch log we're using, right?
Yep.
All right. So then we'll just keep that at a standard height. You using tires or do you have drop pads? I can't remember what you got.
I got tires because I'm not that fancy to have drop pads.
Same. And then for the axle, we'll do wagon wheels on those.
So it's 18-inch, I think it is, off the ground. What wagon
15,
wheels?
I believe, but
Somewhere
yeah, somewhere around there. A little bit higher up because I don't like bending over.
So here's the real question on those. Now we're going, so it's like axle, log, axle, log, axle, log. So what if you say you get a rep on the axle and you go to get the log and I don't know, you fail the log? Can you go back to the axle?
Mm-mm.
Nope. So once you're failed, you're done. Okay.
Yep. That's how I feel about that. So
okay.
I mean, just back and forth, 60 seconds, as many reps as possible, and it's not like one axle and one log is one press. It's one.
Okay.
Or 1, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, I can't talk. It's late at night for me. So event number 3 is going to be the yoke squats. We're going to call it a yoke pick. So it's not going to be a full squat. We're kind of measuring out right now. It's probably going to be 10 to 12 inches below the shoulder height. Maybe like a half squat type of thing. So
yeah.
I had my yoke set up on the lowest setting, and I can't pick it up, and it's 400 pounds empty. So I went 1 pin up, which is about 2 inches. I'm looking at it right now. It's about 2 inches up from there. So we'll measure mine. And you were testing at 12 or 10, 12, and 16, right?
Yep, I did all of them, and I think 16. Like when you go, because that's for me, 16 was almost a full squat, so that was parallel. Right. And with the yoke, as soon as you go to pick it up, the whole apparatus likes to move forward, so that's putting a lot of pressure on your groin. And I don't want to see, especially like I know you had groin issues. I don't want to see someone get hurt with this. So even if it's not like, oh, well, they do 16 at this competition or whatever, like I'd rather just have fun with it. Just see, This could be the big number thing. If you do a 10 inch, then you might be able to add another 50 pounds or whatnot.
Yep. So next event after that is going to be the sandbag over the yoke for reps. So you're going to start on one side of the yoke, load the bag over, run around the yoke, back over, back and forth like that, 60 seconds for reps. And then the last one is going to be farmer's hold for time. So I just thought about this today. Do we have 2 farmers that are identical?
I don't know if they're identical. So my set is Matt's. So I know if you ever trained at Matt's gym, that I have his old frame. So if you probably train for Motor Cities at his house or anything, that's the same frame that I have now. I just bought that one. So I don't know if there's 2 identical ones, but I know I got the one.
So my thought was making that one possibly head-to-head. All other events would be individual events. So you wouldn't be going head-to-head against anybody. So we're only going to have like 10 people. So it's not going to, like I said, it's not going to take all day. If it does, we're having fun. So my thought on that to make it more competitive with that is make it head-to-head. Maybe if we do have 2 different sets of farmers, weigh them and make sure they're going to end up around the same weight.
Yeah, I got to see. I'll talk to Matt. I'm going to his house tomorrow to train, and I'll see if he has anything up there. If not, it's no big deal. If there's only 10 or 12 of us, we can just do one at a time. And I don't know, stand in front of a mirror. You can compete with yourself.
You and your mirrors.
I have tons of mirrors. I love my mirrors.
Is that what he's talking about?
What's that?
Every time.
Mirrors in your gym?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have a single mirror.
Really? Am I the only one that has mirrors?
Probably.
Wow. I guess I like looking at myself. If you can't do a couple reps and then step back and do the like.
All right, we're gonna take him out of the
stream. All right, guys. See, this is
nice. All right. So the last thing about Lift Miss is the prize packages that I'm going to come up with is I want to do something for it to be fun as well. So it's Lift Miss, so we're going to do an ugly sweater, right? So best ugly sweater is going to get a prize package. Best total between the 2 max events will get a prize package. And then the best overall and total points will get a prize package. These are all going to be put together by me, so you have an idea of what it's going to be.
Is it MHP stuff? I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to MHP? Are they still around?
They are, but they're not big as what they used to be.
Yeah, I know they were everywhere. I don't know. Same thing as like Myoplex. Remember Myoplex back in the day when that was huge and like everyone loved that, and then all of a sudden that just kind of went to Walmart shelves.
Yeah, was that they make EAS or whatever? Yeah. Who'd they have for? They had a football player, a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't remember who
that stuff. It was it Peyton? No, it was. I think it was Eli Manning or something, wasn't it?
That's like the worst sponsor you could ever have in history.
So that's my thoughts. I mean, I have a lot of extra stuff laying around, anyways. So, and it's not going to be crap. I promise you guys. So it's going to be a full serving, a full tub of Total War. It's going to be a full 2-pound tub of MRE Light. And then whatever else I can come up with. I do have a lot of extra stuff laying around right now. So, and who knows what else I'll have laying around before then. So I have a crap ton of samples that I just showed Big Kev the other day up in Traverse City how many samples I had. I had a duffel bag full. I'm like, here.
They actually forgot.
What's that?
Full samples just the other day.
Nice. For some reason, I can't hear you when I talk.
He has a delay. Like when you go to talk, like the first time you go to talk, it doesn't pick up your sound, but then when you start talking again, it does.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, see, like now it's working, but if you stay quiet for a second, go to talk again, it doesn't pick it up.
Technology.
Whatever works, man.
Government.
All right. So, any other Liftness news? You guys comfortable with everything that we got going on with that?
Well,
yeah.
Down. Martell committed.
Yep, you were telling me that, and somehow Matt found out.
I texted him today, told him the rivalry is on. Those two go head to head all the time, and it pisses Matt off. Martell's a strong guy. I don't know if
he's no joke.
He won Throwdown. He won Indiana's Strongest Man in the lightweight division in March. So he's bulked up some. He's coming in pretty strong for this.
Awesome.
Those two have been going back and forth since 4 years ago at Cass City.
Well, that's good. Pound that little guy into his place.
Ooh, shots fired.
You're comfortable.
We fire tonight on this show to bring up the rivalry.
There you go. You told me you were going to, so that's fine. No, you're comfortable with all the weights with everything we got set up?
Oh, yeah.
Kev?
I'm excited about the squat, the yoke squat.
Yeah, I think now that we're not going to have it as low as we originally were talking about, as it was going to be a little bit better. I tested it out I got to figure out the height of what I had it set up for the other day, but I tested mine out to 600 pretty easily. So,
how do you want to find the height? Do you want to go from because everyone places the yoke differently on their shoulders. So do you want to go from like the top of the shoulder and that's where you measure, or do you want to just go off their total height minus, because if we do total height minus 16, that's almost the same as going shoulder height minus 10 or whatever it is.
Sure.
So it's hard, but that's what I was trying to figure out is how we're going to measure. Because with Fred, when we went 16 inches for Fred, he was below parallel because he's so short. Like that's the lowest notch on the yoke, and he was like full squat, and that's why I was like, I don't think 16 is going to work very well for the shorter guys like Matt and Martell and them.
Yeah, so let me measure mine and see where it was, just get an idea of where it's at. And I'm thinking, we need to get this set in stone now, but I'm thinking 16 inches from the top of the head will be fine.
So total height and minus 16.
Yep, unless I grab a tape measure and walk over to mine right now. But
it was hard to figure out because I was also thinking maybe just do it to where it's 3 inches off the ground, or whatever. But I think 16 inches from the top of from your total height is where it should be set. I think that's a good solid number.
Well, it should be higher off the ground than like what your normal pick would be, right?
Yeah, because
the bar is a lot lower.
That's what I was thinking, because that's what I was looking. We tried measuring that too, to where everyone was 3 inches off the ground. But then it depends on where you measure, because sometimes some people pick it up and it like tips forward. So if you're measuring off the back, it could be 3, but the front. So I think, like you said, just top of the head minus 16. That way everyone's the same, like equal, whatever lift. Awesome silence. All right, cool.
No. I was sorry. I was just looking at something real quick. I'm thinking 16 inches from your height will probably work. I'll measure mine and see how comfortable I felt with mine at the height that I have it set at right now, and I'll give you an answer tomorrow or later tonight. I'll measure it before I go inside. So
Okay.
now that I'm out here and my feet are getting cold on the cement floor. Right. Are we good with lift miss? How does Fred feel about all the weights?
We worked on it today. He's comfortable with it. He's going to be pushing to hit them. He had a little setback with he has a little bicep issue, but he's getting there. We're working towards all the comp weights, and he's ready to. He got a month basically to kick it in and train for it, so he's happy with that. We're just going to keep. His biggest thing is going to be the overhead, because he's at like 185 right now is what he hit today. So he's getting there. On that.
All right, so that was my concern. Is I don't want to split it up amongst weight classes or anything like that. So, but I just want to have a good time type of thing. So that's why I made it not too light, but still light enough. You know what I mean? So, all right. What's next? Cory, you got some questions put together?
Oh, absolutely. I always do. You know how I do this.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. Welcome to the question portion, Big Kev. First question I have is, how long have you been competing in Strongman?
Oh, I actually started late. I want to say I was 38 or 39 when I started, 44 now.
What was your first competition?
Cass City Freedom Festival.
Was it?
Yep. Got my ass handed to
me. That was my first. I think it was 2017, wasn't it?
It could have been.
I mean, that was my first competition too. I think I competed against you. That was the year that we did the truck tire deadlift and Yep. So that was my first comp too.
Had no experience, never touched a log, never touched a stone.
Same.
Basic weightlifting. I showed up. Great time. But man, I was so 4 days after the yoke carry kicked my ass, everything kicked my ass. That's when I said I gotta start buying this stuff to train. So after that down, it's gotten better. I've improved a little bit.
Well, yeah, it looks like your gym there. It looks like a legit industrial gym.
Oh yeah, we got everything. We have 6, 7, 8 people, who train here. It's all donation. The money they donate all just goes to more equipment for us. Interesting fact is everybody who's trained here have all finished in a top 3 finish at their first competition. We're kicking out some winners here.
Yeah, I've noticed that with Throwdown, and then talking with you up at Great Lakes, you were pretty proud of everybody that you were watching that has trained at your gym, especially Throwdown. You had a handful of people over there, and they were all doing really good. And I could tell just how excited you were about that.
Yep, they train hard. Once we got the competition weights in the matrix, they gear in on that. They show up once, twice a week. And my satisfaction, I'm 44. I'm not going to take home gold anymore. But watching them get their medal and they're hitting their personal goals, like Tori Mitten, who took first place at Throwdown, she's a beast, has a big future ahead of her. She's talking more about fully committing, transitioning over to powerlifting. Of course, Martell has proven himself several times already in competitions from being, he's fixing weights. He's one of those guys we hate because he can be a lightweight tomorrow and a middleweight. And then we have, Big Keith Sterling, who finished third at the one in Traverse City last year, coming in at 6'8" and 410 pounds. First comp, dominated. He did fantastic.
So he must have been the guy where I stepped on the scale and George looked at me and goes, "Yeah, we had to bring another scale in for somebody else the other day." So
yep. Yeah, popped in about 400 pounds.
I don't remember what the scale that they had at the gym went up to, but it wouldn't weigh me either. So
I usually don't have to step on them either.
I'm like, can we have 2?
Wave me through, give me my T-shirt. I'll be
Hey, Tony, see if there's a setting for Kev, because every time we make a noise, his audio cuts out. See if there's like an auto shut off.
So my think what it is, and I don't know if I can edit his mic settings, is because it's trying to not have the echo on his end. Let's see if that works. Can we still hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I found an echo cancellation to do that. So see if that works with them. Try talking at the same time as me, Kevin.
All right, talking right now with you.
Okay, we'll see if that works. We'll just keep going. That's not working, is it?
I don't know. Let's see. Next question. This is probably we got 5 big questions. So that was the first one. Oh, I guess that was 2 of them now. Second question I got for you. How big are your biceps? What is the measurement on your arms?
Oh, I want to say, I think about a month ago, 21 and a quarter.
I was about to say, you probably have like the biggest arms out of like the people I've competed with. Like looking at them, they're just massive.
Yeah, I live with them all the time, so I don't think about it. And then people say that to me. You know, we compete amongst giants. I mean, you're a big guy. I'm a big guy. Tony's a big guy. You don't think about it when you're like people like that. But
I know every time I see it, I look over. I'm like, damn, like your sleeves. Like I can't surprise you don't just wear sleeveless shirts all the time.
I would if I could, but my wife says I don't want to look like a bum.
All right. I would say for my next question here, what is your biggest accomplishment that you've had in Strongman so far? So either like your biggest lift or your most impressive like placement, any of that.
I would say it would have to be the Great Lakes Strongest Man I just did. It was the first time I jumped up and competed in Masters. I started to play with people my own age. Got to go up against Jason Worley, who you guys know well. Super strong guy, very athletic for a size 2. And Bob, his last name starts with a P.
Pensari.
And it was a close competition. I mean, Jason Worley won. I took 3rd, qualified me for nationals for the first time. But my goal was keeping it competitive with those people. I've been on the big stage. They're fantastic athletes. So I had no problem taking 3rd to them. But it was a great competition. It was the first time I felt healthy, no injuries, nothing like that in a while. Last year, I competed in 3 comps with a pulled hamstring, so I kind of felt like I was robbed out of a lot of opportunities. But yeah, this past Great Lakes was probably my best comp, best showing.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I would say I probably asked. Did I ask you that already, Tony? Last week what was your best comp or most achievement?
I don't remember. I don't think you asked that one to me last week. So
let me try. Tony, what would you say in your strongman career is your biggest achievement or your proudest moment?
Oh, Jesus. I've done so many competitions. I've been competing for 8 years. So probably, man, I don't know. Let me look at my trophies up here real quick. No, a lot of the trophies I won, I can't say I had to do much to get them. I got a real nice 3rd place trophy up here, but I took 3rd and there was 3 people. I got a really nice battle axe for taking 1st. There was 2 people. Probably the biggest one was my only win in the novice division in 2013 at Michigan Strongest Man. I believe it's 2013.
I have it right here. You know?
Yeah,
I do. I got it. I got the mug right here. Yeah, so 2013 Michigan Strongest Man
Got a mug?
novice division. Yeah, it was
Beerstein, wasn't it?
a Beerstein. Yeah.
All right.
So it's got the year on the back of it, and it's got laser engraved Michigan Strongest Man. It's engraved on the front too. But that's probably one of the biggest fields that I had to go against where I did really well. I won every single event except for one, and that was the car deadlift. And I got 4 reps, and I think the guy that won got like 12. So there were some brutal events there. I believe the axle was like a 190 clean and press reps. There was a keg load or a keg carry and load into a wheelbarrow, and then you had to carry the wheelbarrow. It was like 90 feet. It was something ridiculous for distance. And it was, you had to run all the way to the 90 feet, pick up your first keg, bring it all the way back into the wheelbarrow, and then 50 feet, 20 feet, and then carry this 900-pound wheelbarrow all the way down to the end. So that's one of the ones where I felt like I was the most prepared for it. And I just went out there and dominated. All right, my time's up.
Yeah, shut up. All right. We're going to mute you. Yeah, we're going to mute you. Let's hit the rebuttal. Okay. All right, here's one I've been really working on. It's kind of a repeat of last week-ish, but a little different. If you could – shut up. So, Big Kev, if you could make your own strongman competition picking 3 events, what 3 events would you pick? So you're trying to win this. This is your ticket to World's Strongest Man. You got 3 events. What would they be?
Oh, punch my own ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say probably an 18-inch max deadlift. Feel like I've improved a lot on those. I'm getting better at Atlas stones, but I still think I'm preferring sandbags at this point. No, I don't like bags. I like pulling a truck, like a vehicle pull.
Mm-hmm.
Acid. I usually do pretty well at them. I got a lot of junk in the trunk, so I can balance the weight a little. But those probably be my three favorite there.
All right, Tony, what's yours? I'll set the timer. Go ahead.
3 events for me that I would want to be able to go to World's Strongest Man. I will go with a kind of similar to a truck pull, but an arm over arm pull to you. I did a competition in 2013 where it was arm over arm pull, one where I took 3rd out of 3, and I won that event. And it was a huge truck. It was like a flatbed boom truck, and it was loaded full of cinder blocks. And I won. I was the only one to finish. Nobody else finished. I got the best time. Like, we did a 60 seconds, and I got 52.8 seconds. So I'll go with that. I'll go with a Viking press. And then probably like a frame deadlift or something like that, or a car deadlift, side handle, some kind of side handle deadlift is where I'm strongest at. So,
all right, I see. Okay,
what about you, Cory?
For me, I would stick with the truck pull, especially like Cass Cities. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was. We did the semi pull. Every single person, no one made it. And then it was me and Nick at the end, and Nick went before me. So Nick went, and obviously Nick did it. I think he did it in like 51 seconds or something like that. And the crowd went nuts because he was the first person to finish it. And then I went, and then I did it in like 21 seconds. And everyone's like, oh yeah, he did it too. Like, I was like, God damn it, Nick. He stole all my thunder. Everyone lost their shit. Yeah, and I was just like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, look at this kid. He did it. And I was just like, oh, well, that was probably I would say truck pull. Anything for grip. So, like, we're doing, I really want to do a Hercules hold, but it's not like anyone really has a setup there. I think I have really good grip strength. And then something athletic. So, probably like a sandbag load, or you know what I really want to try? I want to do the World's Strongest Man 2010 sandbag load in water. The one where Shaw cost himself the win. I want to try that because
falling off the podium, yeah.
And then they had to go to the count back. But no, I really want to try that because I'm really athletic for being 320 something pounds right now, and being able to run and do all that stuff. Like I that's my specialty, is anything that involves athleticism. Especially because, like, my coach, that's what she is. She's an athletic specialist, so that's what she trained me to do too.
Give us.
So kind of.
We don't want to run.
No, not really.
It's not like I'm running 5 miles. It's just like I'm just doing sprints, small sprints. That's what I love doing.
Yeah, that was what was great about Great Lakes Strongest Man this past event here. They were all static lifts, except there's no running. There's just standing one place. Best. Love it.
So there wasn't the room for it, but yeah, as soon as they changed up the events for that, I'm like, Why didn't I sign up? All right. So kind of going off of the stealing the thunder type thing with the truck pull with that, my first competition ever had a overhead press medley. It was an axle, a log, and then a circus dumbbell. And all the masters went before the novice that day, and which is kind of opposite of what it is nowadays, I think. So, but it was the same weights. So they didn't add any weight to anything. So I was the only novice competitor there. And Ashley says sprints are gross. So I got through the axle, I got through the log, and nobody pressed the dumbbell whatsoever. And it was a 110 dumbbell, and I got it on my second press. I first tried it with my left, and then I got it right away with my right. But it was a press for reps at the end. But I was going against myself, so as soon as I dropped it down to press it again because it was a clean and press for reps. I went to go pick it up to press it again, and he's like, "All right, time." And I'm like, I still have time. I want to press it some more type of thing. But the crowd went absolutely nuts because I was the first person to press it. And I'm like, this wasn't really even that impressive because there's still a lot of big guys to come. But I thought kind of funny. But anyways, now, you got more questions, bud?
Oh, yeah, I got 1,000 questions. I can go all night with questions.
Hey, we got the time.
All right. I would say, so kind of going off that same thing, what is like your shining moment, like for a lift? Like say the first time you hit 300 bench or whatever it is, what would you say is like one of your favorite fondest things that you have for a lift?
Oh, man. I think it would have to be whenever I hit like 18 on those for Great Lakes, I was struggling to hit the comp weight of my goal. I wanted to break 600. Didn't do it once in training, not even a week out of the competition. So to go there and actually do it, I felt great about. Jason he took it with 650. I got 60 or 655. I did 605. He could have went higher. Bob could have went higher too. Don't need to win it at that point, with the weights. But I think a lot of what we do is all about personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
You go competition to competition and be like, see an improvement. That's what I tell these young guys that come to train too. Like, you're competing against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Fall where they fall, but somebody has to lose for somebody to win. And so they'll get to that point, and they're seeing their own progression. As we all compete too, it's the same thing. You learn, you figure out what works for you, what doesn't. So I think every time I'll have a new goal, like the one we're gonna do for this lift miss. I'm curious what to get on the yoke squat. I've never done it before. I want to try to put up some big numbers. I got a little tweaked knee, but I think it'll be okay by then once it's strapped up and good to go. But yeah, I would have to say like an 18-inch deadlift, hitting those numbers and trying to go in from there.
Fucking pay attention. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm excited for. Like this comp is, it's the first time I'm going to compete all year, basically. So what should we do at home? Yeah, the journal. Yeah, exactly.
Agree to that for sure. I kind of proved that when at Motor City last year is when I pulled that 905, I wasn't hitting over 700 for training.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my setup is a little bit different that I had for preparing for Motor City, but it was a lot wider and it was a lot shorter. But I can't remember what I think I started out, opened up with 655 on that frame there. And then I did 650 or 655, maybe 755. And then I got to 800 and everybody's like, "Hey, you jumping in?" I'm like, "Nah, I think I could do 9." And I did. And no, it was 805. Because I think the best was 855.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It was a lot of weight.
But yeah, regardless. Yeah, it was 655, 705, and then everybody else did 755, and I jumped in at 805. And I think Matt said the other day that those were actually weighed incorrectly, and it was 10 pounds heavier than what it ended up being. So it was actually 815.
Nice. Yeah, that's respectable. Like that's like good, respectable numbers.
That's big boy weight right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Go ahead.
Everything increases. Your overall strength increases the day of.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym and you want to lift 10 pounds heavier because you're at the gym and there's other people there that are watching, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of okay, I guess you want to do another question or no?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so for this competition, coming up, what are you doing? What are you focusing on to prepare for it? Like, are you focusing on just hitting solid numbers across the board? Are you really pushing for that yoke squat, or do you have anything in mind?
I'm not really training specifically for it. I'm really focused on what I have to do for nationals in June, even though it's a long ways out. I'm hold up like an old truck that's got to gear up. But a lot of the medley, the overhead medley, is what we have to do at nationals too, going back and forth. I hit squats on a regular basis. That's one of my favorite things I do. That's why I'm looking forward to the yoke thing. But nothing really specific for lift miss. I'm just going to continue with what I'm doing and just show up, as strong as I can be for it and let the cards fall in place. I think it's just going to be fun. That's what I want to see everybody again. COVID has every different directions, and us way up here in northern Michigan, you guys are way down there. It's good to see everybody together.
All right, Kev, I got to show you this real quick.
What's that say? You got to read that to me because I don't have my glasses.
Okay, so it's from Austin. I'm assuming you know who that is.
Oh yeah.
My brother and I have watched our dad, Big Kev, grow to the beast he is today. So proud of you. How far you've come. Keep killing it.
They're good boys. They're good boys. They've come out and lifted a few times, and they do well. They do well. They're busy with their jobs and girlfriends and all that too. So when they get out here, it's always a good time. So they've always been supportive. They've been, my son Austin went to Wisconsin with me, and Matt went to Cass City, my other son, to watch me compete for the first time. So they get to see the progression, and they get to see the sore joints and me complaining more and more. But they're good kids. I think the whole sport is so family orientated. Wife and your kids out and watch you compete and have a good time.
Oh, for sure. I was practicing the yoke squat the other day, and my boy was home with the wife, and he kept coming out into the garage, and he ended up standing at the door of the garage and just stood there and watched me get my last couple of sets in. So, and he's 2, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My daughter's.
So it doesn't get old when they come out and root you on and support you.
No, and my daughter's 6, and I started competing the year before she was born. So she's been to every competition I've competed in since she's been born. So she's got her own kids barbell out here, and she wrestled at the 55-pound weight class last year, and she can deadlift 65.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, so she's going to be a little beast too, and my son's a freaking monster, and that's not lifting. He's just a monster. So it's going to be fun watching them grow up, and I have a feeling they're going to get into the sport too. And I didn't get into the sport until I was in my late 20s, so I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's really good stuff.
Oh, everyone's looking at me now. So
you're the cute. This is your portion of the video, man.
I know. It's just funny when you both look at the screen and go quiet, and I'm like, that's my cue to say something. I would say, do you have any questions for us? Anything you want to know, or any secrets? Or this is a secret hour. Don't tell anyone, but you can ask a secret.
I did have some things in mind. Cory, how old are you then?
I'm 27.
You're 26. How long have you been competing?
Since 2017. So okay. Well, not full 3 years. So I did 2017, and then I took a whole year and a half off. I didn't do any weight training. And then my first competition back was, what was it? Motor City. Yeah, I think it was Motor City. So it wasn't a full year and a half. It was like a year I took off. And then Motor City was my first. I had I didn't prepare at all for that competition. Basically, I trained with Tony twice, and then I did a few sessions. That's all I did for Motor City. And that was my.
Was it that Motor City 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2018, I think it was, or 2019. Was it 2018 or 2019?
2019.
2019 then.
Okay. Yeah, I know the Motor City before that I did. It was brutal.
Yeah, I got second. I would have had first if I would have got another like 6 feet on the Conan's wheel. And I had the guy that won it had 4 and like 4 rounds and like 6 feet, and I made it 4 rounds and like barely just over 4 rounds, and it finally slipped right out. So that cost me money. But I did win 2 or 3 events outright. So that was when I got that $50 cash. So that's the first time I got paid for competing.
Almost covered you.
I think the highlight was hitting the ceiling with the sandbags and scaring the entire audience. I'll never forget that. That's probably my favorite strongman moment.
So, Cory, imagine Motor City competition with as many people competing and as big as the audience there was, and having half of that gym. That was 2018.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Half of the crap. And I didn't compete. I went down to watch. I had a couple of buddies that were competing in novice. I went down to watch them with my daughter, and they had a net set up across the halfway of the gym, and it was so tight in there that we ended up taking that net down and got in trouble because we took it down.
Was it heated and lighted?
That year it was.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that was. I remember it was so packed. Had a lawn chair that could really fit in the spot to sit down.
That was like Traverse City last year. That was the same way. It was so packed that you could barely even move in there.
Yeah, that was true. Better setting this year.
Yeah, it was a lot better this year, and hopefully they have it in mind to do something like that again next year. Maybe make it even bigger there.
Yeah.
Have a food truck set up out there or something like that. Because my wife went up to. I mean, the farm has food there, but my wife said the line was so long because they had they were open for other events too that she absolutely was not going to wait in line. So.
Sorry, there's a cat sniffing my microphone, so I'm like, I didn't know there was any animals in here, and all of a sudden a cat hops up here.
That's right. I got a fly or a mosquito or something.
All right, so back to your original question. Yes, I'm 27.
All right, so you got a big future in this still.
That's my plan. I've had my coach for over a year now, and we've battled through injury and slow times, not having a gym equipment. So we've had like pretty much everything that could go wrong, but then we ended up working back, and now like that's what I'm really happy with where I'm at and where I'm going, because she has me set up, like she plans me so far in advance that it's not even like I'm sitting here focusing on hitting max this week. She has me for my next comp in June is my next comp, my big one, and we're working towards that.
I'm glad you're not in the Masters division. You're a big, strong kid, man.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to turn all red. Shit, I might have to back up here so you can't see me as much.
All right, so we got your other kid in here, I think. Absolutely amazing. This is Maxwell. Absolutely amazing seeing you do this, Dad. Thanks for being my inspiration to create my own little home gym to stay in shape.
There you go.
He did. He chipped away before COVID, and you couldn't buy weights. So
I was about to say, is he a millionaire?
He had it all set up and, started hitting it. Lost a lot of weight. I mean, not saying Max is fat. Sorry, Max. But slimmed down, got toned, and, he's not doing strongman stuff, but just wanted to be in shape and feel better about himself. So he kicked ass at it. He's pretty strong, too. He's scrappy young.
See, then that's what got me into strongman, actually. And I talked about this last week with Cory and Matt. Is I started lifting weights to get in better shape and look better for our wedding in 2011, and I just became a habit, and I kept lifting. And I actually was looking at doing a competition in 2011. It was Cardinal Strongman Challenge in Davison, and it happened to be in May, and our shutdown at work is in May, and I literally had one day off in May, and it was the day of that competition. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to go down there. I just want to sit and drink, and that's all I want to do that day. So I looked at it again in the next year. I was actually looking at a powerlifting meet, or looking online for powerlifting meet, and found Strongman. I'm like, hey, I used to like watching that on TV, so might as well give it a try. And then I did my first competition in June of 2012. And then same thing as you, I came home from that competition after not knowing anything about it, lifting Atlas stones with no tacky, using a Velcro weightlifting belt, doing a car deadlift frame, front handle with no deadlifting straps, and came home and started buying everything I could. The first thing I bought was an axle. I went and bought an Atlas stone mold, and I'm like, I'm getting what I need to get.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And once you have it, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say Atlas. Oh,
It's gold right now. I mean,
yeah.
you can't buy this stuff. And, they're closed. There are some of us who are fortunate enough to keep training with no interruption. Who knows if you could compete again for a while. But you had all this stuff, and you felt good about it. So, yeah, that's a gold investment right now, because the way the world's going, who knows?
I didn't have Atlas stones or access to any of that, so I would take 45-pound plates, and I have a homemade pin that I made, and I would shove the pin through the middle of the plates, and then I would pick up the plates like a stone, and all it does is pinch your stomach and pinch other regions.
Yep.
Didn't have an axle, so I did the pool noodle on a bar, and that went to shit instantly. I did the what else we have? I had a combine tire that I thought weighed like 1,000,000 pounds, but it was like 220 pounds. So I was like, I'm throwing this thing around, no problem. And then I watched like someone else have a big tire, and I was like, that looks a little more. And then like I didn't have a log. I tried to make a log out of a piece of tree that I found out in the woods.
Kev, you got any other questions, bud?
I think, I probably don't at this time. I think we're kind of going back and forth and hitting so many different topics. It's kind of just flowing naturally.
All right, let me ask the chat, see if I already asked once, but anybody in the chat got anything, you can go ahead and throw it in. We got 6 people watching, which is about 5 more than last week.
The roof once you had me.
What's that?
I didn't go through the roof once you had me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that beard. I mean, it's something that we can't have. We didn't bring to the show with that bald guy that was on here last week.
It's the beard and biceps.
All right, so other than nationals, you playing anything else next year?
I think I'm doing that Strongman Outlaws, I think in May. I signed up for it last year and it got canceled because of COVID. So if it's the same events, I think I'd be ready enough to go.
So we talked about this a little bit last week too. Is I signed up and paid for that as well, and after they had to move it, they moved it to a day where I couldn't compete anymore. And Dave reached out to me and was like, "Hey, can you still do this?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I got to work that day." That unfortunately, or no, I was gone camping or something. Anyways, I'm always gone camping. I just asked Cory. So. Dave took that money and said he was going to use it to donate to a friend of his restaurant or something like that was making food for hospital, essential workers and stuff like that. I'm 100% okay with that. But then he put in his post that he was going to people that were reimbursed or something like that were going to be able to get back into it or some. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. So I'm interested in still trying to see if I can get into it or not, because that was going to be a good competition, something that was more static as well. That is my kind of style. So,
yeah, I haven't seen any new updates from Dave about that since they're posting about a week or so ago. But I know a couple of my people signed up for it and in it too.
Yeah, that sounded like it was going to be a really good competition, something fun, non-sanctioned, just a good time.
Yeah.
So speaking of other competitions, we still looking at doing one in Gaylord?
Well, here's the thing. I had everything geared up we were going to have Fury on the 45th right here in Gaylord at Big Buck. The date, however, happens to be the same date as the U.S. Nationals for U.S. Strongman. So, for one, I'm not be for it either. And then, two, I wanted it to be such a good event, such a big event in Gaylord. I wanted the best of the best to be here. And I felt if it was in that Nationals time frame, either I was going to lose people because of the date, people not wanting to compete before Nationals, and then people who are just done of traveling and they're tired after doing Nationals.
Sure.
So, probably going to kick it back one summer, but we still have everything in place as far as, Big Buck Brewery wanting to be the host for it, the monster truck pull, is going to be something that's etched in stone already too. So it's going to happen in Gaylord. We're bringing it to Northern Michigan. We can't have you guys downstate having all the fun. Right now, Bulky Boys has given us plenty to do last couple of years, but we need something more in the summer up here too. So it's going to be an outside event. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be probably sanctioned through Strongman Corporation at this point. Been in talks with Big Brian about it. And Aaron West reached out to him. He'd if I give him a hard date. So we're going to go top of it and make it something huge that everybody can come to. I want the best of the best. So we're going to draw a big crowd right there on the main street there in Gaylord. Easy access, pull for the Upper Peninsula. Bring Strongman to Northern Michigan. I'm guys to compete all the time.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I spent half my summer up there anyways, somewhere up there. So,
yep.
All right. So we do get a couple questions in here. So, not sure who this is, but we're going to throw this one up here. I appreciate the questions popping up. So I'm going to read it off. Have you guys thought about steroids or doing any PEDs?
I can't afford steroids.
I don't. I got the guys reach out onto me on Instagram at least weekly, adding me or following me, and then messaging me for we get you discounted steroids. Have I ever thought about steroids? No. The only needles I put in me is when I get tattoos.
Yep.
PEDs. As for PEDs, the most stuff I've ever used, I've used SARMs. I can't say they worked. I wasn't a big fan of taking. I can't remember to take pills every single day anyway. So I've used, like I said, I've used SARMs. I don't feel like they work for me. Maybe it was just the company that I went with. And I've used another product, and I can't remember what was in it that it worked so damn well, but it was a product called Havoc. You can't buy it anymore. You can't find it. And then if you do, it's probably going to be off eBay, and it's probably 10 years old. But I swear I used one bottle of that, and I increased my deadlift 200 pounds in a month.
Wow. I'm
not even fucking joking. I don't even know what was in it, but that's the only thing I've ever found that actually worked like crazy like that.
Well, I never dabbled in any of that. I take, different supplements, a lot of Redcon products, as you know. But I just stick with the basics. I like the creatine. I like, the big noise and the pump, the total war. That gets it for me. I mean, you can train hard enough, you can hit without sticking that needle in you. It could give advantages. You go against a guy who is juicing. Is what it is. But I do not want cancer or some side effect. And this is just a sport and it's for fun. So I guess I got a lot to live for. So might as well keep that pace going.
I mean, as for now, for like if it is PEDs, I mean, there are anabolic products out there that you can use that aren't illegal. I mean, Redcon 1 does make some stuff that I did use for my Great Lakes Strongman prep last year. Cory, you're using Moab or have used Moab, haven't you?
Yep.
Moab's a good anabolic product to just help increase your natural testosterone. There's a couple different products. What do you got? Wrong way. You got Moab right there. Cherry lime. Okay. So the biggest issue with that right now is with the world being shut down, is we'll get into another question. There's a bunch of questions popping up now, which is awesome. So with the world being shut down right now, a bunch of manufacturers are closed that make individual raw ingredients for those products. So if you go to Redcon 1 right now and try to buy Moab, it's sold out. There's none. There's no unflavored. There's no cherry lime. There's no grape. So I mean, there's a couple other ones. There's Halo, which is a good one. There's 11 Bravo, and then another one is Boomstick, which makes your stick go boom. So
what's that now?
I'll send you the link later.
Oh, is it on the P Hub? Is that where the link is to?
I'll send you the link later.
Okay, sweet.
Cory, you?
No, I think just eating good and creatine and whatever, Moab or whatever that, like that stuff. The closest thing I've ever done to steroids is the original formula for Jack, the pre-workout, like 10 years ago. That's literally I've never done meth, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what doing meth is like. And if I could buy it still, if I could still get that, I would like something like this size. I would.
So there was it was funny when they started talking about the DMAA and the products that had that in it, and it being it could be found in meth, right? Or that could be found in
The
meth. So
amphetamine, yeah.
yep. So it was in Craze pre-workout, and it was in Gaspari's Detonate, which was a fat burner at the time. I was using both of those. I was using Detonate and I was using Craze as a pre-workout. So I would wake up every morning, I would take my Detonate, which was a fat burner, which was freaking crazy. I lost 10 pounds on a normal diet in a month just using Detonate. It was such a anabolic or increases your core temperature. Like I went to the ER once because I had a little nagging injury when I was using Detonate. And he took my temperature and he's like, "You got a mild fever." And I'm like, "No, I don't." And he's like, "What do you mean you don't?" I'm like, "I'm using a thermogenic." And he's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It increases your core body temperature to burn fat." And he kind of looks at me. He's like, "Why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Never mind." All right. Looks like Fred's the next question here. How often do you work strict press to help overhead push press? So when I'm warming up is when I do a lot of my strict pressing. And say if I'm going to do pressing twice a week, one of those would be just strict pressing. And I'm starting to lean more towards almost a split jerk. I like it a little bit better. And it's not a huge split.
Split jerk. What next? You doing CrossFit?
Who is the American log press world record, and what kind of press does he do?
What happened to his tricep?
All right. Anyways, so continuing on. So if I'm gonna only do overhead pressing once a week, I'll warm up and I'll do like some heavy sets with a push press, not a split jerk, because that offends everybody, I guess. And then all my warm ups are a strict press. I think it builds your overhead press power even better. And if I don't have to do the cleans with it, I can do it out of the rack. It's even better because then I'm not wasting my energy to try to get to the clean.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Probably do the same thing when I do my overhead press day. It starts off all strict until the weight gets to a point where I need to press it. Do a little push. I don't split jerk. But that I feel like it builds up my strength. Another thing I like to do is seated log presses. That helps me a ton. Just log in the rack and pressing away.
Yeah, so you're talking doing seated pressing out of the rack with a log.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, those aren't bad. I can't fit my log inside of my rack, so and I don't. Are you using back support or no?
Yeah. Yep. I use back support, so totally.
Okay.
Don't go too
So
heavy.
like a military press type of thing. Okay. Yep. I like those as well.
Motion.
Awesome. Cory, what do you think about that?
Yeah, kind of same answers. I try not to do. I never do split jerks. I want that on record. Like mark that down. No, I do a lot of Viper press, and then I go strict press. I go Viper press until I can't, strict press until I can't, and then about as many reps. Like my coach usually has me written down for doing lots of reps with a moderate weight, and then with strict press and then push pressing is what I'll do. I'll push press the heavy sets. So like a normal thing for me would like today, I was doing Viper presses with the 200, just 200 pounds. And then I did strict pressing with, I think it was 185 or something like that for sets of 5. And then I went on, today I didn't go heavy, but then I do like 250, 280, 300 regular sets.
300.
I mean, 250, and then I fail everything else.
No, so yeah, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that strict press will help build you over time.
Oh yeah.
It definitely helps build your power over time. All right, so Ashley's got a question. What comps are we most looking forward to next year?
Well, for me, I think it has to be the Nationals in Minneapolis.
That's where USS Nationals is going to be?
Yep.
Awesome. So I guess I got to freaking get qualified. Because I'm definitely not going to get an invite. I mean.
All right, what about you, Tony?
I look forward to, Cass City's Freedom Festival. That sucks it was canceled because that's a family go down and spend the weekend, do the parade, the fireworks, everything that takes place with it. I think every comp you go to, you look forward to it, or else you wouldn't sign up for it.
Yeah, for sure. So I haven't found one that I want to sign up to compete for next year yet because there's not a lot posted out there. I think we're still no one knows what the hell is going to go on next year. So I'm still trying to find something. My big thing that I've enjoyed doing is trying to compete in different places all the time. So I've competed in 7 different states just for fun. I mean, I've never qualified for nationals. I never competed at a nationals. A long-term goal of mine is to compete in all 50 states. I mean, that's a ridiculously crazy thought, but it's something that I've thought about wanting to do. So I kind of look at that when I'm trying to plan a competition because I can make a family trip out of it type of thing and have fun with it. So my last big one that was out of state, I competed in West Virginia. And we did a little tour of Pennsylvania and then ended up down in West Virginia towards the end of the week. So, I mean, I've been to West Virginia, Tennessee, Arizona, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. So, I think if the next one I'm going to do is probably going to be somewhere in Kentucky, and then end up back in Tennessee again because that's a beautiful state.
Kentucky,
So,
if you know Stephen Dalton down in Kentucky, I did his last year. Great competition. We did the same thing. It's a big family trip. Whole week of being tourists, competed, was tourists a few days after that, but beautiful competition he puts on. 3rd time coming up next year. These do.
What's the name of that one? Or send it to me so I can figure it out and look into it.
It's through the his own gym. It's called the Blue Collar Strength Club. So I think it's right on Facebook too. So if you look it up on mine and type it in, you'll see it. Okay. Great time.
Yeah, because I've looked at the Beast of Bluegrass is down there. They have that competition. Has been a long ongoing competition in Kentucky. So yeah, just got to keep my eyes open and keep looking at the calendars there on USS or Strongman Corp.
Yep. So I think I'm 7 states into. I think I've competed in 7 states. So Cory, how many states you got?
Michigan. Yep. I had to think about it for a second. No, I got my next big comp is in Rhode Island. It's Ocean State Strongest Man, and that's my Arnold qualifier. That's the one I'm training for right now.
Nice.
And that's the one in June. So then I could say I competed in the Mitten State and the smallest state. So then that's about it. And then hopefully Ohio for the Arnold. If I can get qualified for that, that'd be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. So which one I'm most looking forward to next year? Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to compete in next year. I'd like to do Great Lakes to get a Michigan competition in. Obviously, going to go over and help with throwdown. I probably won't compete just because he'll need the hands over there helping as well, since it's going to be a Strongman Corp competition. So I don't know if I'll do any other competitions in Michigan next year or not. But I'd like to find something out of state to make a trip out of it.
Yeah, I saw they just announced the date for Throwdown too, didn't they?
Yep.
Yes, just on like Sunday or Monday.
That was a great competition at a perfect time when nobody else. I was talking about that too. Like all the volunteers and judges, if you would have switched those to competitors, it would have been one hell of a day.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd have been fun.
All right. I think we got one more question on here. TJ Cooper, 39, and just started Strongman before the world shut down. Any advice for an older beginner? Kevin, that's where you fit in.
Keep at it. It's the big thing you got to do. Know what class you want to be in. Young gunners like Cory here, going up to 20-some-year-olds, and yeah, you get satisfaction out of holding your own, but there is a master's division for a reason. So when you're eligible for it, give it a look. The big thing is, worry about. I always, like I said earlier, I'm like an old. When I fire up, it takes me a while to get going. You got to know when to train hard and not do it through injury to make things worse. So you got to take better care of your body at that late 30s into your 40s age. But there's plenty of strong dudes out there in their 40s, amateur and professional, stage. So the big thing is keep at it. You're because of your age. If you're going up against people in their 20s and younger 30s, that does make a difference. But just be mindful of your training and what you do.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't have the equipment yourself, find a gym that has the equipment if you can. My type of situation is there wasn't a gym around me, and same with both of you. There wasn't a gym around you that had the equipment. Start slowly gathering it. I mean, I've been at this for 8 years now, and I'm never going to be done gathering equipment. I'm always getting something. I mean, every year I'm getting something, or if not multiple things. Just slowly adding on to my collection. I don't park in my garage, so and thus, I'm going to build one eventually to have just as a gym and a office for doing this. So, what?
I was gonna say that's what I did. Well, I didn't build it. I have a side building. That's my gym now.
Yep, and we're gonna find that, come out in there and use that pretty soon here.
Yep.
Hopefully before I lift miss.
To the guy who just asked this question again, I don't have my glass on, so I can't see his name.
TJ Cooper.
TJ Cooper. TJ, if you go on Facebook and you throw, plug in the Strongman website, Strongman competitions, and you could throw out there like, hey, I'm looking for a train. You'll be surprised how many people like Cory, myself, Tony, Matt Little, all have everything you need at their own personal Strongman gyms. We always love people to come train with. It's encouraging to us. It encourages the people who are showing up. Strongman's a great community. It's a space. One competition, walked away and hated anybody. So supportive, and people will reach out to you and invite you over. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're located at either, but maybe even just go to on Facebook, Starting Strongman, go on their page, make a post on there, say, hey, I'm in this area. Is there any gyms nearby or anybody that has equipment? There's a lot of people on that Facebook page that would more than likely there's somebody near you that you don't even know. I mean, I didn't meet these guys until I started at competitions I met these guys at. So, and through social media, posting stuff out there and meeting more and more people. So,
my advice for being an old man lifter, I would say recover just as hard as you train. Like, always take your recovery seriously, because if you don't start recovering when you start training, you're going to end up screwing yourself up, and then you're going to be out of training or something. So like for me, I got a physiotherapist, a chiropractor. I do contrast showers. I rest certain things, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're eating enough. Like, all those little things like that add up in the end, because once you start eating good for, say, a week and you go eat a pizza, like, that affects your workout for like 3 days. So there's a reason why you see these big guys, not like the big timers, not going to get cheat meals every single week, because that really screws your training up. Make sure you're stretching and working out, all that stuff, because the biggest problem is like Big Kev said, like, you get a hamstring tear, or you'll have a back issue you can't figure out, or your shoulder
groin tear,
or you tear your groin. So you gotta really get dedicated to the recovery and the mobility, because that's probably the most important stuff that you'll end up doing more than anything in Strongman, because that will help you longer in life too.
No, cool. All right, anybody else got anything? You guys good?
My stomach's kind of upset after you talked about split jerks, so that's kind of bad.
Oh boy. No, Big Kev, appreciate having you on this week.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a good time. Have me back anytime. And we're gonna be promoting these T-shirts pretty soon online. The Bear Lake Barbell T-shirt.
Yes.
The
Looks
first
sick, man.
quick, so I'm just gonna get a pre-order kind of idea when I shoot it out there. It's made at Mission One Apparel right there in Carroll, Michigan. So they do a fantastic job, and all the proceeds just go right back at this gym to help people like who just messaged about wanting a place to work out. So I'm not making money off it. It just all goes back into everybody who wants to show up and train.
Do you want to plug your social medias real quick?
Yeah, Bear Lake Barbell. You can follow me, Kevin James. We post pictures of competitions or goals. We don't keep it. We keep politics out of it and whatnot. We're just showing people when they're hitting their what they want to do. That way, their family can see what they're accomplishing, and if they live far away too. So it's a good social network.
Sweet, man. Yeah, definitely appreciate you having you on. I was kind of short notice just talking to you, yesterday or the day before. So,
It was all right.
yeah, we'll definitely have you on again. Me and Cory are going to keep doing these every week. We'll have to see what we're going to do next week, though, since we're going to be in a different state.
We're going to be together.
Ooh. Cut out. I couldn't hear you, Kev.
Where you guys going to be at?
We're going to be in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So, long story short, World's Strongest Man's next week. Long story short.
Long story short.
I've been up since 4 a.m., bud. I'm getting tired. We're both going to be in Bradenton, which is where World's Strongest Man's going to be at next week. So we both planned this back in April.
Yep.
Paid for the trip and everything, and now they're in their own little bubble, and we want to see if we could pop it.
Yep.
So, no, we've had this plan for a while, and it's with something I didn't plan on canceling. So, even if we can't get into their bubble,
you can get it.
Yeah, we got a honeymoon suite together. It's going to be one hell of a sight when you see that heart-shaped tub after me and Tony been in it.
Oh God,
we're only going to be able to put about a half inch of water in it before it starts overflowing with both of us in there.
See, I don't know what's worse, that hot tub or him split jerking. I don't know what's worse at this point.
There'll be a lot of split jerking on this vacation, if you know what I mean.
All right, guys, we appreciate you watching this week's episode of this podcast.
You can find me. I'm Cory. You can find me at Cory_Iron Farm on Instagram, or you can go to Iron Farm Gym on Facebook.
I'm at AW McNett on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook at Anthony McNett if you want to add me on my real page, or Sanford Strongman Garage. Hopefully, going to be changing the name of that here soon, as soon as I convince the wife of the name I like. But yeah, I'm not in Sanford anymore, so we got to change that. So, all right, guys, appreciate having you, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, we'll see you down the road.
All right, another great show, guys. Thank you all for tuning in this week, and we will catch you next week. I'm not sure if we'll have any special guests or not, but like I said, me and Cory will be hanging out together, and I don't know if we'll be sitting next to each other for it, or I'll just keep him in a different room. Catch you guys next week.